And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a three times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical. Here we go. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Um, Men of prestige, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of suspected this was going to happen. Welcome back. Welcome back. But I'm sorry. I'll try to chop that part of the show off once this whole thing goes live. But I'm here. Okay, audio is fine. Everything is good. My name is Ola, man of prestige. Ladies, welcome. I'm taking a dive into Nigerian politics to share my thoughts with you. I'm not an expert. I'm completely brand new in this game, completely. Okay, like 4 or 5 years that I started paying attention to it. As a matter of fact, the one thing I want to be clear about, I want you to be clear about, I want to learn from you. Okay, you're going to, for the most part, probably teach me everything I need to know about Nigerian politics, because again, there's a good chance I'm delusional with the way I'm thinking. I live in the Western world, so I have zero right to speak about this, but I got some thoughts, and I'm hoping that you give me the freedom to have some thoughts and be able to share with you, so you can also correct me or help me adjust. There's some things that I'm picking up. I mean, over the last 4 or 5 years, a lot has happened. Obviously, President Buhari was voted back into office in 2000 and what, 19, right? So 2023 is coming up. I do have a prediction. Again, I said I'm delusional, so I will be giving some prediction today. Again, you get to correct me, you get to share with me what your thoughts are and things like that. But I do have 7 criteria. I want to assess four candidates today. Like I said, just a few hours ago, Tinubu emerges as the choice of the APC party, which is one of the two major parties, APC and PDP. A few weeks ago, we found out that Atiku was basically won the primaries from PDP, right? So we know a few basic things. We know that there are 200 million Nigerians, right? We know that to pick up a form to even be a part of the race in the primaries for APC, it cost was supposed to cost them 100 million naira. But somehow, some drama over the past 24 to 48 hours, we learned some new things. We had people stepping down for the Jagaban himself, Tinubu. And again, I'm going to cover these four candidates, not particularly because they had a chance or they have a chance, but because these four people are of interest to me personally. Okay, so I will talk about them, but I'm also going to give like 7 criteria that I'm measuring them by. Okay, and then you can share your thoughts with me and let me know what you think, because again, like I said, I will be learning from you as I continue in this. I do social analysis, so in this political aspect of it, you'll be helping me fine tune over time. Please go ahead and share, subscribe, like if you kind of like the way that I'm doing things, or if you're interested in the journey here as we continue to move forward. I would appreciate that if you hit the like button, if you hit the, if you share it, and then also make sure you subscribe and turn on all the notifications. All right. So without any further ado, let's get started. And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a three times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, so the first person we're going to talk about today is the Peter Obi, who used to be a governor in the eastern part of Nigeria. I think it was Anambra, I'm not sure. But anyway, I want to talk about him. He's now, I think, is the candidate from the Labour Party. Everyone wants to talk about him. Some people are interested in, believe it or not. He's made quite a few buzz. He stepped down a few days, I think like a day or the same day that he lost to Atiku in the PDP primary, something of that nature. But I want to share with you what my thoughts are based off of just watching him over a little bit. Again, I'm completely brand new in this whole Nigerian political thing. So again, I want you to teach me. I want you to share with me what your thoughts are, because I can be off. There's a good chance I'm delusional here. But there's a few criteria that I'll be using to assess all of these four candidates, right? And then at the end of it, I'll give you my prediction of who is going to emerge as the president in 2023 of Nigeria if everything goes the normal way things go in Nigeria, right? And the only thing that can change, in my opinion, what I'm about to say today will be if everything in Nigeria crumbles all the way to ground zero. But if things are going the way it's going right now today and the way it's been going for the past 8, 16, 20 years, I am very strong on my opinion today. I feel very strong on my opinion today. So there are going to be 7 analysis criteria that I will use, okay? And I will basically go from 7 to 1 for each one of these candidates. And then again, please share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you're thinking. Again, I live in the Western world. I have no right to any opinion here, but nonetheless, I am taking it as you're giving me permission to share my opinion with you. And then please feel free to correct me, share your thoughts, because again, I can be off. But again, raised in Nigeria, listening to Nigeria, listening to Nigerians, and watching how they move, their behavior from a political standpoint over the past 4 to 5 years, I have a very strong feeling that I have an idea. I've seen patterns, and I can see where this is going. So let's talk about Peter Obi, and the first criteria, we're going to go from 7 to 1, do like a countdown. And again, as we're going, please feel free to share your thoughts. I will see if I can pull them up, and then I want to learn from you. Okay, 7, radicalism and ideology. I don't believe that this matters. Okay, when it comes to Peter Obi, I think most people are liking the idea of Peter Obi because they are looking for quote unquote hashtag Jesus to run the country, and unfortunately, he may be strong on his belief system, but a lot of it, I'm hearing a lot of moralism. I'm hearing like, hey, I'm holier than thou. I can fix this whole thing. That's what I'm hearing, right? And the truth of the matter is that criteria really doesn't matter in Nigeria. It's not even part of the whole thing. So I can't really hear his ideology. There's no real ideology there outside of I am better than these other guys because I fixed Anambra. I saved a lot of money in Anambra. I was able to put some things in place. But the truth of the matter is that the whole nation is in one boat right now, and it's bad. So ideology, probably like the rest of these other candidates, I would say is, when I say ideology, conservative, progressive, things that you will see in the Western world, I think is basically all in the mud when it comes to Nigerian politics, right? Number 6, morality and spirituality. On a scale of 1 to 10, I will probably give him a 7 or 8. I'm taking away the 2 because he's been a part of the politics of Nigeria for God knows how long. And but I'll give him a 7 because most people will say, no, this guy is going to fix Nigeria because, he's not part of the cabal or whatever you think of norm when it comes to Nigerian politics. So again, I'll give him a 7 on that. Track record, I think, good. I'll give him a 7 too. Trust equity, I'll give him a 7. But once you've been a part of Nigerian politics, I'm not sure if you can go past a 6. I'll drop that down to 6 for him because it's been a part of Nigerian politics already. So, but I'm giving him a 6 because, again, I've seen some of the rhetorics out there about him, and I think that, people can trust him to do the right thing. The problem is that he's a part of a system, okay? He's a part of a political structure that's bigger, that's larger than him. 200 million people strong, and 700 plus political polls all around the country. I'm not sure if this matter a lot, but he gets a 6, right? 4, charisma, likability. I'll give him some. I'll give him a 5. Maybe I can push that to 5.5 for him, right? No, I think 4.5. I think when it comes to the people that actually matter, when it comes to politics in Nigeria, I would definitely say he's yeah, 4. Let's give him a 4. I think for the people that don't matter, for example, people like me on the outside of Nigeria, we're just on social media making on noise that won't really matter for the most part, right? I will push him to a 9 for that in terms of charisma. But again, we know that in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter, right? All right. So on 3 social media trend, I've seen him trend quite a bit. Like there was actually like 2 or 3 days that it was trending for a while because again, you have social media people fantasizing about a great, better Nigeria. But is Nigeria better than what it's supposed to be? That's a question we can all ask ourselves. Or is it where it's supposed to be, right? This is a world, it's an ecosystem that's at play here, right? And I think everyone is where they're supposed to be, depending on perspective, right? So social media trend, I'll give him a 6 on that because I'll give him a 6. Financial power, economy. This falls into about 2 different ways, right? Him personally is financial power as in donations and things like that. He gets a 3. In terms of his ability to fix Nigeria as an economy, based off what we know from Anambra, there's not much to it. I'll give him a 4. I don't think it's dependent on any one person. Again, there's a political structure in place. There's economy of the country in place. And that works against him because Nigeria is not in a great place from an economy standpoint. That works against anybody who gets a 6 or more in morals and spirituality. And you see what I'm saying? Like it works against them because these people have to eat. They have to survive. And you're not able to bring that to the table, even if it's just that 1,000 naira that you're distributing on the streets for people that don't know any better. It's not that powerful. I don't think it's able to do that. Number 1, overall political power structure. He had to deflect all the way to Labour Party on the last day. I think this for him is in the mud. Okay, completely in the mud. I don't think he's able to do anything. That's why he probably felt like they were kind of cutting corners and they pushed him to the side. And yeah, he has no power when it comes to that. So and this is a big deal in terms of my prediction for 2023. This is huge. Like this is very, very bad for him. Now, bonus. I'm gonna put a bonus on here for competence, right? If this guy is in the right system, what is a right system? Again, that's I don't know how to define it. What would be a right system for Nigeria? If it's within the proper system for his, maybe, but maybe he would not matter that much, even in that kind of system. Again, things, in my opinion, are where they're supposed to be in the grand scheme of things, because this is an ecosystem, and you cannot afford to look at this from right and wrong standpoint or holier than thou standpoint, because again, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We've seen that it doesn't matter in Nigeria for the past 20 years, right? So competence for himself, I think he did well in Anambra because Anambra was Anambra, but there's 29 other states, right? So I'm not sure if this matter much. So overall, I think Peter will be he's a person of interest still. I'll see where things go over time, but based on what I can see right now, not looking too good. Let's go to Vice President Atiku Abubakar, right? And let's go through the 7 criteria. Radicalism, ideology, in the mud. I don't know what he stands for, outside of just pandering to the younger people. I think he's pandering to younger people, try to showcase that he's for the young people. And I know that from 2019. And the truth right now is that I couldn't tell what he stood for, outside of just pandering to what is present right now. But I can also say that's fair because Nigeria really doesn't have any kind of political ideology outside of, It's a race. It's like football. Like to them, it's just like another soccer game, right? And people go to the side of what they feel as opposed to any strong ideology that can actually help move the nation forward. Where do we need the nation to move forward right now? From my standpoint, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I can see economy as number one. I can see security as number two. But I think security will always be questionable when the economy is not right. Because again, people got to survive and people will do everything that's wrong, including compromise their own security when they have to eat. If it comes down to they have to survive, survival first. I'm sorry. It's just the reality, right? Number 6, morality, spirituality. Yeah. Even his president, when he was vice president, Segun Obasanjo has a lot of stuff in print on the records of his credibility is in the mud. Even though like 4 years ago he tried to pull it back and say he's supporting him last minute, but that is, he's getting his 1 on this one on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, right? Number 5, track record, trust equity, same thing. Trust equity in terms of his track record, same thing. Now, some people would say it's a successful businessman. So that counts for something. Okay, I'll push him to 3 from 1, okay? Because he's a successful business boy. In Nigeria, what does it mean to be a successful businessman, right? The Dangotes or $10 of Nigeria, I'll give them credit, Elumelu, right? It takes a lot to survive in that kind of business climate, right? So if it's surviving in that business climate, I'll give him a 3, right? But again, trust equity in terms of the people, I think that will have to depend on how much he can spend during this political campaign, right? That's sad. Charisma, likability, I'll give him a 7, 8 on this one. I think a lot of people like him. I think it goes back to number 3, and I think a lot of people just don't know what to do with the track record, trust equity, but I kind of like him. That's not good enough, right? So I'll give him a 4 there, right? Are you keeping track? I'll give him a 4 right there, right? Number 3, social media trend. Because he's on the second or the first, one of the topmost 2 biggest platform. I'll give him an 8 on there, okay? Because he's on that. So he's going to trend in and out, just like he's been doing, right? So, but I think there wasn't enough drama around the primaries, okay, to even make him trend even more. Also, I think PDP hasn't been in power as far as presidency since what? Since Jonathan. That was what, 2014. So right now, that's not looking too good. But overall, because that's still the second biggest platform right now, simply because they're not in power at presidency level right now, I'll give him 7 or 8. Financial power and slash economy. So this is always going to be on 2 sides. Okay, 2 sides. As far as the economy of the nation, he needs to have enough money to spend on political campaign, right? If he can spend good money, he has a good chance. Because again, remember, I'm predicting the outcome of 2023. So economy of the nation is bad. So he's a rich guy. He has some money. He has some big political power behind him, right? Political dollars, right? And it's probably in a good position. I'll give him a 6 or 7 here, right? Because his money that he can spend on political campaign would matter, right? So think of it like those of us that were in the Western world. Not so much. Of course, political money, donations matter, right? But not as much as in Nigeria, right? It does matter. And he's in a good position. So I give him a 6 or 7. He's in a good position because he's a rich guy and he has all this big power behind him. Because again, the second biggest platform right now is still PDP. So I'll give him that. Number 1, overall political power and structure. I'll give him the same thing. Okay, 6, 7. I'll give him a 7. Because of the platform. Okay, and there's a lot of power behind PDP right now. As being the second biggest and runners up, if you will, right? So I'll give him that. In terms of competence, it's bad because again, there's a difference between political operations and business operations, two different worlds altogether. One, you serve the people. One, you serve yourself. Right. In a normal world, you're supposed to be both. You're serving the people, right? But what do we call normal? Nigeria is in its own world, right? So it's two different things altogether. So in terms of competence, he's been a vice president before. So I'll give him the same thing I would have given Oshibajo, the present vice president, right? But they're like figureheads, like it doesn't matter, right? So competence, he's in the mud. 3. I'll give him a 3 on that one. All right. So yeah, overall, right now, Atiku is on a good platform. I'll tell you that much. This part right here, in terms of charisma, likability, is very low. I don't. They like him just because I can't even remember what he sounds like. That's bad. That's terrible. Okay, I'm going by myself again. This is completely just by myself, right? So this is purely opinion. Okay, so I could be off. We'll find out how off I am when the time comes next year, right? I think by this time next year we would already know if I am off and by how much, right? So with that being said, let's go on to talk about the Jagaban himself, who right now has been trending in Nigeria, hashtag Jagaban. And let's talk about Jagaban, and again, I'm trying to bring this down to some kind of science, but this is my opinions at the end of the day, right? So let's go back to number 7. Radical ideology, right? Ideology in the mud. As far as radical, I like the fact that a few days ago it was trending because he said, I put Buhari in the office. That's radical enough. Ideology in the mud. Radicalism level wise, I like it. This guy is a genius. He understands how to play this game. Not only does he understand how to play this game, he knew a long time ago, as far back as 20 years, he knew that this was a long game and he had been playing it since then. Okay? He knows when to come out and talk. He knows when not to talk. I was talking to my father and he said he went to the church where there was the Ondo attack church in our war, and he never entered the building. I'm like, that really doesn't matter, okay? These people probably pre-planned for situations where, like what happened in Owo is not new in Nigeria. It's just kind of like a shocker to people in the Southwest. It's been happening in Nigeria and other different states, in the Middle Belt, in the northern part of Nigeria. It's been happening. Like, there's nothing new about this. The only difference is that people in the Southwest, they are still in a fantasy world where they don't see this coming to their doorstep. And sadly, very sadly, I hate to say, it's happening, right? He got there, he gave them 75 million naira, and he left. This is a guy who understands his position. We're talking about 200 million people strong. You as one individual, you're probably bringing your morals into this situation, right? Speaking of morals, let's just go to number 6. Okay. Morals in the mud. But again, this is not a criteria that matters when it comes to the results we're going to see next year. I'm sorry, including spirituality, it's not going to matter, okay? You're going to see some of your biggest pastors get behind some of these people in spite of their track records of corruption and all this kind of stuff. It's just what it is. I'm sorry. So morality, spirituality, obviously in the mud, but it's not a criterion that matters. Okay? So again, they have money. They will give money when they can. Sometimes they make statements. You saw all the different political statements that came after the sad event in our war. You're going to see more of those kind of things. Unfortunately, you're going to see catastrophe, bad events, sadly, right, that are going to happen. It happens with every 4 years. Okay, sadly. Okay, so please make sure that you stay safe out there. Okay, so again, morality, spirituality is going to be in the mud. It's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, right? Track record and trust equity. It depends on what you mean. It depends on what we're talking about. We're talking about what he did in Lagos. It depends on what side of the track you're on, right? Trust equity, yeah, I guess people can trust that Tinubu will do some and take some, right? They kind of like have an idea of what they're looking forward to. They know he's a cabal, he's the godfather of godfathers, right? They know he was right when he said, like, even though people took an offense to it, right? But the people that took an offense to that, they don't matter, right? When he said he put all those people there, he put Sanwo-Olu there, he put all the people, anybody you know that's who anybody in APC right now, he put them there. Buhari, everybody knew that he was telling the truth, fact, right? But they took an offense to it. But again, most people that are taking offense to that, they're not going to matter. Plus, if you did take an offense to it last week, it's not going to matter when it's time to vote next year. Track record, people know what to expect. Not necessarily in terms of building the nation, because this comes down to nation building. You can forget about any one of this, has nothing to do with nation building in the real core sense meaning of it. It doesn't matter. This is just, unfortunately, sadly, another soccer game. Okay? So it depends, right? Track record, trust equity, I'll give him a 6. Not because he's going to do the right things, because people know what to expect from him. You remember 10-10-20-20, right? The NSAS situation, right? Did you see him make a statement? He took his time. He waited. He understands how this game works. He understands that this is a game. Sadly, okay? He's the only guy that understands how political game works in Nigeria, from what I can see. I'll give him a 6, 7, 8 there. So what am I saying? Morality, 0, but it's not going to matter. So let's not worry about it. Radicalism, he's getting a 6, 7, 8 there. Charisma, he's getting a 6, 7, 8 there. Social media trend, I mean, look at the drama over the last 48 hours. Never mind why it happened, right? But just look at the drama. Look at everybody that's stepping down. And then we had one person that said, I'm going to step up, right? What's his name? Tunde Bakare, Pastor Tunde Bakare, right? But again, that one is just creating a name for himself. Maybe he's hoping one day Nigeria will crumble down to 0 and he has to build all the way back up. And will be one of those people that when this would matter in Nigeria, maybe, people will say, no, we need Tunde Bakare because everything has crumbled. And people are in a place that they're not able to eat. They're not able to survive off of just political ecosystem, right? Which is the only thing that seems like is making Nigeria survive right now, outside of entertainment and Hollywood movies and music and, I don't know. But, the political money is what's going into the system from what I can see, right? That's why back in 2015, when Buhari won, the country suffered for the next 6 months because he wouldn't elect his own ministers for a while, right? You remember that? Because the nation survived off of the stolen money that's coming into the system, the corruption money, right? There's no real productivity going on. Nigeria doesn't sell anything, at least not net, right? Instead, they're owing more money, right? When you have such a situation, we have to look at some of this and say, hey, so social media trend, he's got that 7, 8, 9 because of, again, the radicalism and then the drama that we saw yesterday. I mean, if you look at, if you look at how many votes, more than 1,000 from the delegates, and the next person was Amechi, like 400, something like that. Like, it's too far off, right? Social media trends, that's why it's trending right now, right? Financial power, economy, everything is in its favor right now. It's against the country, but what's going on with the country from an economy standpoint is in its favor because you get to spend money, bring the bullion van, and then get more votes. That's just the way it works right now. You remember that from 4 years ago? That's going to happen again, okay? That's going to happen again, and nobody will do anything about it, right? And that's working in its favor, sadly. 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think I gave Atiku maybe a 7, 8 here. He gets 8, 9, 10 here. I don't know how big their businesses are. I don't know which one has the bigger business. It doesn't really matter right now, okay? Because again, remember all the political donations will probably come behind him as well, right? Anyway, let's go to overall political power structure. Well, the incumbents right now is APC. He has that in his favor, okay? the most powerful political structure. You can say that's not real structure. I used to say that 4 or 5 years ago because I was passionate about the idea of a Sowore and the what's their name, right? Mogalu, all those people coming in and throwing mud in the whole existing structure. Because I was rooting for Nigeria. Honestly, I still do. But again, reality is reality right now. Right? No, it's not like I didn't know reality back then. Again, we're just hoping that, some kind of miracle will happen. But life doesn't operate off of miracle, not this kind of political structure, right? In fact, in my opinion, for anything to change from the existing system right now, I think we have to sadly crumble all the way down. I don't know what that looks like. God forbid, almost. Like, it depends on what you're thinking, right? Again, overall political power structure, this guy is a 10 right now because I'm measuring Nigeria against Nigeria. It's a 10. All right. Competence, right? Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier in terms of we kind of know what to expect from him, right? Competence is, in terms of nation building, 0, okay? Because we don't know. His track record says that whatever he had in place tend to be selfish in nature, depending on what we're talking about. Again, I'm a little bit on the fence here, right? But none of these people has the competence of where we know Nigeria needs to be. We know that Nigeria is probably going to be one of the greatest nations on earth. How that's going to happen is not this existing political structure. Why? Because people have to survive. People have to survive, right? All right. So speaking of Sowore, let's go ahead and talk about Sowore. Now, Sowore has no chance. Okay, I'm putting him on this list because is the. Let me make sure I show his face first. Sowore, Omoyele Sowore. About 4 years ago, here's the reason why I'm able to give an opinion right now. Somewhat of a low on a scale of 1 to 10, 3, 4. Educated opinion, right? Just off of seeing what happened. And again, I'm open to learning. I'm sure you can teach me 1 or 2 things. And then I will also some of your opinions as you watch this video. I'll be able to review it and say, hey, we got something going on here, right? But Omoyele Sowore has no chance, 0 chance, okay, in becoming the president of Nigeria. Not in this political structure, okay. But I'll still go through the criteria and I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. Number 7, radicalism ideology. I'll give him a 7, 8, 9 there. Just because of the, I guess he can claim he has ideology, but also because of radicalism. He's an activist at heart. And Nigeria is not in the political space where an activist can become a president. It's just not. Economically speaking, it's not there, right? But again, he's making a name for himself. He's building a brand, right? Just like Tunde Bakare. In fact, Tunde Bakare is doing, on this scale right here, is doing 0. Sowore is doing 10. Because at least it's not trying to act like spirituality and morality, maybe morality over there. Speaking of morality, let's go to spirituality. Spirituality is 0. He doesn't care, right? Morality is a 10. And that's the more reason why he doesn't have a chance. Because this criteria really doesn't matter, right? It's a 10 because people can see that, he's going to do the right thing. But how far is he going to go trying to do the right thing? And what is the right thing? Based on whose moral compass? Based on what, right? We know that the way he's thinking is not thinking like a Nigerian political system, right? So we know that he has no chance. Just off of that alone. So I'm already making my prediction, I guess, but not yet. I'm going to make a prediction who I think is going to win. I think you guys will be getting the picture here a little bit. Track record, trust equity. He has no track record. He's never been a political officer of any type. He's only been If we were talking about how to run a media, online, new age media house, he would have a 10, but that's not the case here. If we were talking about how to be an activist, maybe he would get a 7, because again, we've seen situations where it seems a little bias here and there. He doesn't have, again, I don't think that's his goal, but he's offensive. He offends everyone, that you can't, not in the way Nigerian political system is right now. That's not going to work, right? But even in the Western world, you know when to offend and when not to offend people. You know that there's bias by default, right? Charisma, likability, he doesn't have it because of the state of Nigeria right now. Because most people that are of certain class, They don't want a Sowore coming to destabilize situation, because they're also speculating that if an Atiku comes in, it's gonna be Jonathan all over again. There's gonna be a lot of money in the system. Or if a Tinubu comes in, it's gonna be Lagos all over again from like 10, 12, 13 years ago. You have all those biases that has nothing to do with morality and spirituality and all this kind of stuff. So because of that, charisma, likability for Sowore in the mud. Social media trend. This is 2 or 3 right now. I remember back 4 or 5 years ago, it was new and it was trending, and he was able to even get on a debate where, of course, majority of them didn't show up because they're looking like inconsequential. Remember that? They're looking like this small boy, right? So I don't know. It's not doing too well in terms of that right now. If you follow him closely, you will see him. But if you're not following him, you're not seeing nothing about Sowore right now. So that's not good. Financial power, economy. This guy is rich. Let's not get it twisted, but he's not that rich. Okay, because when I say rich, it's his money, right? He worked for it. But the other rich I was talking about is political donations and money that is corruption, infected money from political corruption and stuff like that. But he can probably travel around the country with his money, but that's about all he can do. It's not going to give you 1,000 naira from every stop. So it's not, and the status of Nigeria economy speaking, from an economic from an economy standpoint right now, it's not good for a guy like him. Like, he's an activist. It's not going to work out, right? But again, like I said, he's building a brand for himself. He's doing 10 times a better job than Tunde Bakare. So if anything does happen, God forbid, that's just terrible and everything crumbles down to zero, or maybe in the nearest future, he would have built enough credibility in terms of people know him, but not in terms of running the nation, because it's never done that before. Overall political power structure, 1, 2, on a scale of 1 to 10. Not good. Competence, we don't know. He's never run an office before from a political standpoint. A public office. It's never run before. We don't know what we don't know. So you can. Experience is a real deal, especially experience within the Nigerian system. And he has none, right? He can speak he reminds me of people that tend to speak about relationship from a theoretical standpoint. But when you get faced with real deal problems, it's quite different. So again, Sowore will build a very nice brand for himself. People know him. A lot more people know him right now. A lot more people will flock to Sahara Reporters right now. I think he's smart to an extent. He's put himself in harm's way. He's been arrested for no cause, whatever reason, held in Abuja for no reason, right? All of that stuff, right? But again, he's building a brand. It's a risk he's willing to take, but he has no chance. So now I do want to speak about my prediction, but I would like, at this point, I want to go into, let me just go ahead and share this with you real quick. This is the thumbnail. This is what brought us here today, right? Right now, I want to go into Twitter. I want to see what is trending, right? And then let's see what people are talking about really quickly. Then I'll give you my prediction, and then we'll call it a day, right? Let me share my screen with you really quickly. Let's see. There you go. Let's see. All right, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go on Twitter real quick. So you can see number 1 trending in Nigeria right now, APC presidential primaries. And then for some weird reason, Jesus was trending. I think people were calling Jesus because they were scared that Tinubu won. I don't know. I think there's a different reason why it's trending. It's probably because of Nathaniel Bassey somewhere, but who knows. Let me see what else is trending. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go into this APC presidential and see. Let's see what people are saying, right? Bola Tinubu has won. We know that. Okay, so we know that. Let's see. ASU, Arise TV. Okay, these are people just okay. Somebody said the candidate they're all stepping down for can't even stand on his feet. I thought it was a joke until. Wait, did he fall? Is this happening right now? No, that wasn't him, right? I hope not. Wait, he fell. Oh, that's Tinubu falling. That's crazy. Let's see. This is what they call mad, though. I don't know how long that video was, but that's crazy. Shibajo supporters who are joining us in Peter Obi's camp, you are welcome. So some people are shifting over from Oshibajo to join Peter Obi's camp. I still don't think there's a chance for Peter Obi. I just don't think so. All right. Now that's ended. Dear Nigerians, please hear me out. It can't be Atiku or Tinubu. Clearly, this person is new. Okay. Just like myself 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. It's going to be one of those two people. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm begging you, we can't suffer for another 8 years. Yeah. If Nigeria is not producing, in the grand scheme of things, if they're not producing, as in like they're selling to the rest of the world, is going to continue to be a Tinubu or Atiku. It's just, again, people have to survive, and the class that control this whole thing, and they know exactly what to do to give you a little 1,000, 4,000 naira to stay in power. I'm sorry. There's principle that guides this world, and it is what it is, okay? It's an ecosystem. Something drastic will have to happen, like a miracle, okay? But in terms of people, like you're trying to preach to people to vote right, they can get their PVC, they can do all those kind of things. I think it's good to continue to encourage people to, because the right atmosphere will come eventually. And you want to get people in the habit of learning how to vote for what's good for them long term. But for now, people will vote for what's good for them short term. You know, and the branding and all the billboards that you're seeing in Nigeria right now will matter in terms of skewing people's ability to think, you know. And I've seen this happen over and over again. People don't vote with a critical mind. They vote with how they feel, you know. And then they justify with random logic later, right? It's just the reality, right? Let's make Peter Obi trend. This is why I gave Peter Obi 6 to 7 in terms of social media trending and all that kind of stuff. He's doing well now, but again, we know that only goes for so far when it comes to the results next year, right? Retweet for Ahmed. Okay, this was far back. Okay, so I'm just looking at some of the top tweets here. This is 11 hours ago. Is 8 years we lost a national treasure. Mrs. Akinyuli, she gave a glimpse of hope that Nigeria could be better. Yeah, I remember that news. Let's see here. Really, this is the man. Okay, this is Reno Omokri 13 years ago. Okay, 13 hours ago. I said 13 years. Reno Omokri says a lot. He's very vocal about these things. I'm following him. Matter of fact, let me make sure I'm following him here so I can see what he's up to. This is the man APC wants to field. Really, as far as I'm concerned, the only real candidates are Atiku and Peter Obi. No, false. I disagree 100%. Okay, not especially after the momentum that you're seeing behind Tinubu right now. Okay, disagree 100%. It's not looking good. Let's see here. I'm looking at, yeah, it's not looking good. Let's go back here. All right. So I'm going to go to the latest. Let's see the latest. If anything important is going on here. Now, it's been Asiwaju and Atiku. I honestly think Tinubu is not the right candidate. Again, right and wrong doesn't matter here. I'm talking about the game. And again, you saw the 7 criteria I gave you and how much, which one weighs. It comes down to the financial and political power. That's what everything comes down to. And that's directly driven by the economic status of the country. And it's in a bad place. That means, you know, how much money they can spend on this political campaign seems to be the driving force, right? We don't forget election 2023 massacre. They will forget now because everything political right now in Nigeria is short-term thinking. Long-term, you know, anything that happened 2 weeks ago is forgotten, right? That's just where everything is right now, okay? The decision to bank with, this has nothing to do with nothing. I beg, when them book K1. Victory Party. K1 is already behind it since, like, what, 14 years ago? Right? Anyway, I just wanted to go through to see if there's anything important going on outside of exactly what I've been saying here. You can see that there's a lot of force behind Tinubu. And if I know him, watching him over some years now, he knows how to build on momentum. And this momentum right now, if he continues to build on this momentum, I think you're guessing what my I think you're already guessing what my prediction is going to be. My prediction is that Tinubu is going to emerge as the president of Nigeria next year. Okay, that's my prediction. And like I said, unfortunately, it is what it is. That's just the state where Nigeria is right now. If anything changes, it will be drastic. It will be some sort of miracle. But if it's the same existing political structure that we have in Nigeria right now, right, the rest of them have no chance, zero chance. Maybe Atiku. Peter Obi, forget it. There's too many forces against the idea of somebody morals, and they did well in Anambra and they blocked some corruption. There's too many forces against that ideology. Okay, there's too many forces against it. Okay, and I hate to say this, so I would like to see a different outcome. I would like to see at least a Peter Obi in that office, right? Sowore has no chance. Forget it. So forget about that part, right? I would like to see a Peter Obi. That's personally, like, based off of what I've seen so far, right? But the powers that be, the forces of a poverty-ridden country, 200 million strong, right? Number one, number two, number three most poverty-ridden country in the world. In fact, let's look at that, right? It's almost impossible to be able to make anything, right? Poverty country top. Let's see what's going on with that right now. I think we have to look. We used to look at world poverty. There you go. I think it's still up there. Let's see. Yeah, if you look at that, yeah, world poverty clock. Let's look at that right now together. If you look at that, that's just where we are, right? Let's see where Nigeria is on this list. I was looking at this 4 years ago. I have not looked at it in a while. But again, when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, Nigeria is 83 million out of 200 million number of people living in extreme poverty, right? And if we go by, I think there should be some kind of list here. So yeah, that's my prediction that, if things are going the way it's going right now, in the same direction as going right now, I think it's going to be Tinubu. If I'm wrong at all, it will be Atiku. Peter Obi will be ideal for me because he has experience, okay? And a lot of people that really wants to bring in some level of morality into governing in Nigeria would probably be on that side, right? Some level, not perfect, but something, right? But yeah, I don't know, I'm looking for the list. There you go. I think there should be a list somewhere here. Okay, India is number one. Actually, let me. This used to be by countries, all countries. Okay, so let's just look at this data right here. 39% of the country is in extreme poverty. Let's see. Current escape rate is negative, meaning it's increasing, right? Trying to see where's top. Should be a list here. Okay, we could just look at this. 39%, right? I think India is top on that list. Used to be, Let's see. Almost there. We're rounding up. But okay, now off track is it people in the world? There should be a graph we used to click on here. I haven't clicked on it in a while, so I'm scrambling a little bit. Request data. No, I don't want to request data. I just want to see the list. All right, you get the gist. But yes, my prediction is not Peter Obi. Just in case you just dropping in, my prediction is that it's gonna be this guy, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and is he Alhaji? I'm not sure, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and ideally, I would like it to be this, right? If I'm wrong, it's gonna be this guy. But right now, based off everything I can see, the momentum I'm watching right now, this. Now, I want to encourage you. Leave your comment. Let me know. I'm sure I'm off. Okay, I'm sure there's some things I said that are wrong completely. I want to learn from you. Okay, so please go ahead, leave your comment. Share this video with people that you think will find interest in this conversation. I want to continue to have the conversation. If there's good response, I want to continue to have this conversation. Without any further ado, I want you to go do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you turn on all notifications. Okay, all right, turn on all notifications. Make sure that you have share it, hit the like button, those kind of things, right? The nice things that will help us also grow this platform. Is completely brand new, so we're looking to grow it. There are 2 different brother sister channels, so make sure you go to the homepage and follow all the links up there. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated, and I'll see you on the next one, and peace.